With every advancement in technology and innovation come new opportunities and new businesses that would seek to leverage that innovation. We've seen the advent of the iPhone, which popularized the smartphone across many manufacturers and brands. We are also seeing in real estate the rise of what's called iBuyers. But what are they and what should you know? My name is Finney, and my passion is to help you make sense of real estate. If you need help finding a top agent near you, or if you simply want to drop me a line to say hello, my contact info is below. If you're new here, please go ahead and subscribe to this channel now and like this video. Thank you. All right, my friend, let's take a closer look at what is an iBuyer in real estate. Depending on where you are in the country, you may have heard the term iBuyer, or you may start just now beginning to come into knowledge of what is an iBuyer. There's a lot of things that you should know. So in today's conversation, we're going to break down into 4 topics that help you know what an iBuyer is in real estate. What are iBuyers? How iBuyers work? Pros and cons of iBuyers if an iBuyer is right for you. The first thing is, what are iBuyers? So when we're considering what is an iBuyer, it is a technology platform that is providing you as a home seller an opportunity to sell your home and receive cash immediately. Now there are terms and conditions that apply, of course, and there is what I like to just simply call as a convenience fee, because it's very real and it's important to remember that. So their claim to fame is to say, hey, you know what, if you work with us, we'll buy your home cash, we'll give you a flexible move-out date within a time period that is comfortable to you, from just a handful of days up to maybe a month and a half, 2 months, or longer if needed. And they're saying to you, okay, guess what? We're going to go ahead and do that for you, and we're going to make this as easy as possible. You won't have to pay real estate commissions, but you will have to pay the iBuyer. So there's a whole host of different options that go on here. Essentially, their claim of fame is to try to say, hey, we can make this as easy peasy, painless as possible for you by giving you cash today, and then we'll take the house off your hands so you can move on to your next destination. Now you might be thinking, hey, that sounds a little bit too good to be true. And we know whenever something sounds too good to be true, it usually is, right? So let's take a closer look as we delve deeper into what are iBuyers. The second thing that's important for you to know are, how do these iBuyers work and who are the main players right now? To better understand how iBuyers work, it's important to know who the main players are. We essentially have 5 main players consisting of Opendoor, Knock, Offerpad, Zillow Instant Offers, and now Redfin. So let's take a closer look at each of those iBuyer platforms. The first one being Opendoor. It's important to note that they actually launched in 2013. Now, when a company like this launches with this kind of technology, what does it require? It requires a huge amount of capital known as venture capital, and opening it up for public trading so that they can get Wall Street money into the company. How do you think they have all this money to be able to go out and buy properties in the areas that they're operating in? They aren't all operating in all 50 states at this time. None of the companies I mentioned are. It is important to note that they are financially backed by Wall Street as a publicly traded company, and that's where they're getting this money. So just keep that in mind as we move forward. The second main player is a company called Knock. Now, Knock is technically considered an iBuyer platform, but their specialty is when you're selling a home and buying another one simultaneously. Essentially, it's kind of like a trade-in program where you swap one home for the next. The third main player is Offerpad. Offerpad was the second iBuyer on the national stage, right behind Opendoor. Both Opendoor and Offerpad operate a lot the same. The fourth big player is Zillow. Now, this comes as no big surprise, as Zillow has led the market as one of the largest aggregate websites of all real estate listing information across the United States. It is no surprise then that they're going to start turning and watching and seeing what's going on with technology patterns and say, hey, you know what? Opendoor, Offerpad, and Knock are doing this. We don't want to miss out on this market opportunity. We want to jump in and throw our hat in the ring too. So now you see what's called a Zillow Instant Offer, and you notice very aggressive marketing on their website trying to get you to sell your house to Zillow directly. And the fifth main player on the stage is Redfin. Now, Redfin got into the market about mid-2018, and they're operating a lot the same as Zillow. So Zillow and Redfin are kind of at each other's competition point, going back and forth, and both are competing against the likes of Opendoor, Offerpad, and Knock. So when we start looking at how these companies operate, their premise and their claim to fame is to say, hey, we're going to save you a lot of money because you're not going to have to pay a traditional real estate agent to list your property. And then they say, hey, you know, if an agent averaged out at maybe 6 to 7% commission, you're not going to be paying that. But what you will be doing is you'll be working with us to get this done. And then arises a whole slew of questions, or at least it should be a whole slew of questions, such as, okay, that's great that I'm not going to have to be paying a listing agent to get my home sold, but what's the catch here? And what do I need to know? Well, consider this. Let's back it up a moment ago when we were talking about the very real reality that these companies are publicly traded companies. these companies have venture capital. That means they're on the hook to do what? To perform and to be profitable, to have performance quarters stronger than the previous and performance years stronger than the others. But it's almost like it's just money that's being influxed based upon what people think it's going to do, and they're trying to do the best they can to get the return. But how do they get the return? And this is what's important for you to realistically know and practice how this goes down. Could they really give you fair market value for your home if they hope to stay in business? The answer, of course, is no, they couldn't. So they're going to be offering you less money for your home than fair market value that your traditional real estate agent would be able to get for you. Then if they say, hey, you don't pay the real estate commissions, okay, well, what's the hook other than now I'm selling my house for less of a price? Well, you're going to pay us essentially a convenience fee that's going to amount to somewhere between 6 and 9%. So if the real estate agent was going to cost you 6 to 7% by their diagrams and by what they say is their marketing piece, but they're going to cost you 6 to 9%, and they're also going to be discounting your home 3 to 5% from the initial offer, then you see that already on the low side with one of these companies, we're already looking at 9%, and that's before you get into the inspection process with them. Because what they're going to do after they buy your home is they're going to essentially turn around. They might do a light paint, light cosmetic touches on the property. They're going to put it right back up on the market because they're not in the business of buying and holding the property. They're in the business of wanting to buy it at a discount, get money from you for the convenience of doing so, and then putting it back on the market so they can cash in, ka-ching, and who won at the end of the day? The iBuyer did. The issue with this, and the important reality for you to understand is that this convenience comes with a very, very high cost. Now, if you list with a traditional real estate agent, even a top performing agent is going to be somewhere probably between like 6 and 8% commission, right? So if you look at that and then you start breaking down the math of these iBuyer programs, then what you're looking at that point is you're looking at a company saying, hey, don't pay the real estate commission, give it to us instead, and we're going to keep it all. And by the way, go ahead and agree to sell your home for 3 to 5% less than fair market value. Oh, and by the way, when we do the inspection, if there's repairs that need to be done, either you'll have the opportunity to make those repairs as the seller, or you know what, here's the deal. We'll go ahead and just discount you a little bit further and we'll make the repairs for you. We'll make this convenient for you. Well, start adding up all those percentages even on the low side. If we lead in with them saying their convenience fee, if you will, is 6%, that's one number, while the traditional real estate agent, let's say, was just for this purpose of this example, is also 6%. Okay, that's great. Well, the traditional real estate agent, are they going to try to get you to sell your home for less than fair market value? No, not unless that's something that you as a seller wanted to do, right? So right there, your fair market value stays intact. But over here with the iBuyers, on the other hand, they're going to be looking for you to sell for 3 to 5% or more in some cases under market value. So let's take the smaller of those just to be completely fair and try to keep these numbers as tight as possible, right? So we're still at 6% over here with the traditional real estate agent for this example, and now we're up to 9% over here for the iBuyer program. But that's before they go in and do the inspection on the property. Now let's say that there's about 1% of your home value that needs to be addressed in home repair. It is entirely usual whenever I meet with home sellers in real estate practice that there's some work that needs to be done onto the home to be able to get it into sellable condition. That amount of money just depends on how good their home maintenance really was. If they had really good home maintenance, it's not as much money, but if the home hasn't had the repairs it should have had, it could run anywhere between 1 to 1.5% of your home's value. So if we say that number was 1% with the iBuyer program, then that is now up to 10%, whereas your traditional real estate agent is still over there at 6%. So what's the trade-off? Well, if you list with the traditional real estate agent, you're obviously going to be earning 4% more, and you're going to be selling your home for more. And that's using the low side of these numbers over here for the iBuyers. In real estate practice, where we do have all of the iBuyers in the real estate market in Las Vegas, Nevada, in practice, we're seeing and hearing from a lot of home sellers that they are actually paying out 11 to 15% of their home's value just to work with the iBuyer. That seems like a very, very high cost of a convenience when you can work with a traditional real estate agent and maybe go 6 to 8%. Now, we all know due to the Sherman Antitrust Act, there is no set minimum commission. There is no set number of commission. They're negotiable between you and a listing agent. Now, keep in mind that you always get what you pay for. But if you're paying for convenience that is double the cost of a traditional real estate agent, was it the right move for you? Now, ultimately, only you can answer that question, and only you know what's right for you. All I'm asking you to do is to open your eyes, get real about the facts, and assess them of what it's really going to cost you at the end of the day for convenience. Let's say a $500,000 house, if it's really worth an additional 6%, which is $30,000 more out of your pocket, just to have a cash offer today and being able to move out in maybe a handful of days or next month, that's up to you. One thing to consider there is with the same $500,000 house, if at the end of the day you were listing with a trusted real estate advisor, traditional agent, a top performing agent, and let's say the commission was 7% for that example, that is $35,000 of $500,000 home value, right? If all in, you're over here with an iBuyer about 11 to 12%, let's go with 11%, then you're at $55,000 cost to sell that house to an iBuyer for the same $500,000 house. So by working with a traditional real estate agent, you actually are saving $20,000. So my question to you is simple. Is it worth $20,000 for the convenience of just being handed an offer? Now, I don't know about you, but most of the home sellers that I've worked with in real estate practice generally want to get the best price possible, the best terms possible, so they can make the most money possible. If all of a sudden now they're saying, hey, we're happy to give you another $20,000, why not just work with a trusted real estate advisor and save the money, right? This is something you got to get clear about. Make sure you do your research, make sure you're visiting their website, make sure you're Googling both the traditional real estate agent and the iBuyer platforms for their online ratings, reviews, and see what the testimonials are looking like from real people that have worked with them. Don't be wooed by the convenience. Don't be wooed by the newness. Be wooed by the service and be wooed by how much you're going to be able to make at the end of the day. Now that was a lot of information about how they work and a lot of the pros and cons associated with it, but let's bullet point this down into specific pros and cons. So the 4 pros that you could expect by working with an iBuyer is the fact that you can do a fast sell. There will be no staging, cleaning, or marketing required. The third thing is you wouldn't have to have any showings other than opening it up to their home inspectors or their survey people that come out to take a look, but no showings to the public. And the fourth is that you have no agent commissions, though keep in mind, you do have that convenience fee with them. The cons of working with an iBuyer, number 1 is the lower sales price and you're gonna have lower profits as a result. The second is that you're gonna have less personal interaction because it's all technology based. If you like being treated like a number, then probably the right thing for you. The third is it's not available in all the markets. The fourth is not all homes are eligible. The iBuyers generally want fairly livable homes, not real fixer-uppers. They want those homes that are going to be able to be sold with a traditional real estate agent fairly quickly and easily as it were if you had the right marketing and the right sellability behind the property. They want the same homes because what do they want to do? They want to put it back on the market and sell it and get it off their books and cash in. Again, they're cashing the check and they're charging you the fee. The fifth thing is that they have misleading marketing about the true cost of selling the property and how it works. To get clear on this, if you are entertaining an iBuyer, I would ask you to go ahead and set an appointment with a trusted real estate advisor. Ask them for an estimated net proceeds sheet so that you can truly compare apples to apples and oranges to oranges. Let's make sure that whatever decision that you decide to make in the future is the right decision for you and your family that's going to put you in the best case possible. The fourth thing to know is how to decide if an iBuyer is right for you. Now let's say that you own an older home that would be appealing to one of these iBuyers and it was going to be difficult to sell. Well, we know that we have flippers in every real estate market across the United States. We have wholesalers in every real estate market across the United States. Let the iBuyers buy the older homes and let them fix up the older homes if that's really what they want to do, as opposed to trying to charge a lot of money for a home you could get fair market value on and make more money from. So if you have an older house or if you think your home is going to be difficult to sell, then that's one of those situations that it might make sense. The second time that it might make sense to work with an iBuyer is if you got a job relocation and you got to be out of Dodge and into your new city very, very quickly. Let's say that your new employer is only giving you like 3 to 5 days to get into the new position. In that case, it might make sense that you will be paying a big hefty convenience fee, or you can leave it listed with a traditional real estate agent and take a little bit longer perhaps to sell it. All the same, you'll be netting the most money. Now, if it's worth it, and you need that convenience of getting that house from off of you so you don't have to worry about it moving into your new hometown for your new job, maybe the additional $20,000 that would cost to work with an iBuyer from our example earlier today is worth it to you. Only you can make that decision whether that money is important to you or not. The third time that it might make sense to work with an iBuyer is if you're truly okay with that convenience fee. All I ask you to do as a trusted real estate advisor is to make a well-informed decision with your eyes and your mind open, with all the facts and all the truth on the table, so that you can review side by side what's going on here. That's all I'm asking you to do, is to open your eyes and make sure that whatever decision that you decide to make was a well-informed one that was right for you and your family. Some people are going to say the convenience fee of working with an iBuyer is worth it. Maybe money's not important to them. I don't know. From my experience in working with both home buyers and sellers here in Las Vegas, Nevada, money is important. And for most of us, we want to do the best that we can because it helps advance us in life. Only you can make that decision. Just open your eyes, think clearly, #JTAB, just take a breath, reassess the overall situation, and make sure you're doing what's best for you and yours. All right, my friend, I hope that gives you a little bit more insight into what iBuyers are in real estate. Now let's take a closer look at another video about, is the convenience worth it to work with an iBuyer? And the honest truth about seller closing costs. Looking forward to our next conversation. We'll see you in a few.